So today we'll talk about software development lifecycle different models. We have a couple of models like waterfall, spiral, incremental, V-shape, RAD, RUP, Agile, Scrum, Agile XP, and blah blah. So in this, we'll start with waterfall model. A waterfall, I think I explained you, but once again, okay, just
Okay.
let's go through this. Waterfall, why they name this model as waterfall? Because once business analysts gather the requirements and once designers start designing, uh, once the designers start designing the project, so if client want to change any requirements, it is not possible. Okay, so whatever the changes you want to do, you do at requirement stage only. Once the design start designing or developers start writing the program, writing the code, it is not possible in this model for client to modify or change the requirements in middle of the process. Okay, so that is the reason we call it as waterfall model. I mean, it flows like water from top to bottom. Okay, the workflow flows like water from top to bottom. So water never flows across or water never flows bottom to top. Correct? Yes. So in the same way here, the process flows like water, and at the end, that's it. Once the project is done, we'll send it to client server and client will look into that. So if client want to modify or change any requirements, there is no possibility. So what happens if client miss any requirement? What happens if client is not satisfied by the end of the day? Then you can go with the next version. Okay, so they will implement whatever the requirements they missed in this project, they will implement in next release or next version. So mostly this waterfall model is useful for moving the project from existing to new
Uh,
versions. Yeah, moving from existing to new versions.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
can
Hello?
yes.
Yeah, there? Okay. Okay, fine. So the second drawback is it is a time taking process. It takes more time. So same project, if you go with agile model or any, if you go with agile models, we can do it in 3 months. Here it takes 2 years of time. So it is a time taking process, and mostly it is used by service companies, not by product base. What do you mean by service companies? Like who provide IT companies, okay, who provide service to different clients. IT companies who provide service to different clients, we call them as service companies. And product companies means like Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They develop their own applications. Okay, that is known as product-based IT companies. So mostly this model is useful in waterfall. Service companies. That's it. So it is the main strengths are it is easy to understand and it will provide structure to inexperienced staff. So freshers, basically, service companies hire hundreds of freshers every year. If you see in India, through campus interviews, okay, they will hire hundreds of people, fresh graduates. They train them and they put them on such projects. Why on these projects? Because these projects are time taking projects, right? So slowly people will undergo some training and slowly they will do the project. So it is best to start for this model is suitable for service companies, at the same time for freshers. Okay, the remaining things anyhow we discussed. Milestones are well understood, sets requirement stability, because the requirements are stable, right? We can't change any requirement, we cannot add any requirement, modify any requirement. Good for management control, plan, staff and track. Works well when quality is more important than cost or schedule. Yes, of course, when client asks, like uh, whenever when you want the best quality, then service companies will tell to client that if you want the best quality, you just wait. You have to spend a lot of time, that's it. You just have to spend more time. Otherwise you won't get any quality. Okay, water deficiencies. All requirements, waterfall deficiencies. All requirements must be known upfront. Yes, of course, because if you miss any requirement, the project will fail or client may not satisfy. Deliverables created for each phase are considered frozen, inhibits flexibility. Yes, deliverables, each and every phase, like requirement gathering, 6 months of time, let's say, or 3 months, they are freezed. If you finish the requirements gathering part less than 3 months, also you have to wait for 3 months. Okay, so they are frozen. Inhibits flexibility. No flexibility. Can give a false impression of progress. Of course, it gave already. Nothing to give now. Does not reflect problem solving nature of software development. Iterations of phases. Yes, iterations means repetitions. No repetitions, no turning back, going back and modifying. No problem solving nature. Integration is one big bang at end and little opportunity for customer to preview the system until it may be too late. Yes, for client, it is very difficult. They don't have much opportunity to view what is going on inside the process. When to use waterfall model? Requirements are very well known, of course. Give some more time to client and ask them to give 100% requirements. Okay, because once you start, you cannot add or you cannot modify anything, any requirements. Product definition is stable. Yes, the output should be stable. Technology is understood. Technology is understood. That means before starting the project, only you have to see which softwares we have to use. Okay, which, I mean, do we have all the prerequisites? Okay, you have to check before only, because after starting the project, if you want to change that or this, software, or there are so many things, there are so many factors, so it is not going to encouraged here. New version of an existing product, porting an existing product to a new platform. Yes, new version of an existing product. So existing product is, let's say, iPhone 5s. Now the new one is 6. That's it. Existing product is 4s. Now 5C, 5C to 5s, 5C, 5s to 6. Or if you look into operating systems, XP to Vista, Vista to 7, 7 to 8. That's it. Porting an existing product to a new platform. Yes, there is an existing application, you have to put it on a new project. Like iOS is there, you are putting this iOS on 6. I mean, the versions are upgraded all the time, right? Whatever you use 4s or 5s or 6, the internal iOS will be the same. I mean, whenever the iOS upgrades, automatically the upgradation can happen in all models, correct? So porting that existing application to new platform. So new one is iPhone 6, wherein they enlarge the screen, little bit of size, they made it little thin and blah blah whatnot. They did some changes on that. So this is all about waterfall. Coming to prototype, prototype is completely opposite to waterfall. The full name of this prototype model is structured evolutionary prototyping model. So we can say prototype. So what do you mean by prototype? A prototype is nothing but a sample model. When we will design a sample model, when it is a new project, when it is a fresh startup, or when it is a brand new one, then only we design a prototype. Okay, so now what is the difference between prototype and waterfall? Let's see here. Waterfall is existing to new version, wherein prototype is completely new one, like iPhone first model, Windows operating system first model, or Facebook. It's a new one. We don't have any old versions, correct? We don't have any earlier versions. We have only one version. Maybe they added some more options like timeline, they added some other options they added, but whatever it is, when the Facebook came into market, that was a prototype. So whatever the project it is, at first when you are designing, that that starts with prototype model only. Okay, now the difference here is, in waterfall, there is no opportunity for a client to view in middle of the process. Okay, right? So there is no opportunity for a client to change the requirements or view the project, what is happening. But here in prototype, client will be always with you. Client will see what you are designing. I mean, the end users or customers, I mean, whomever they are. I'm talking about the client side people, stakeholders. Okay, SMEs, whomever you are, they will see what you are doing. When they satisfy, then only they will ask you to proceed. Otherwise, they keep on changing the requirements. So let's assume you designed online banking page, the only main page, like it has a username and password, that design the main requirements on it. You have to show it to client. If client says yes, that's good, then you implement it and design it. Otherwise, whatever the client want, if client want to change it, yes, many times, n number of times, client may ask you to change n number of times, because client is a daydreamer. So they can have many ideas, they will get new ideas every day, every minute, every hour, they will get new and new ideas. So they may ask you to change anything, until unless they are satisfied, until unless they come to one point that yes, this will be the final product, this will be the excellent, this will be an excellent product. Until that time, they'll ask you to keep on changing. So that is what prototype is. Okay, that's it, nothing more than that. So prototypes, we have many types. Either you can draw it on a paper and show it to client, like we call it as a blueprint. Either you can draw it on a Microsoft Visio, we call them as controls. Okay, wireframe, you can draw wireframe and show it to client. Or else you design in a real way, like a sample model, and show it to client. Or else you can use some animation techniques. I mean, by using some animation also you can show. So this is how, let's assume, let's take a small example here. A Mercedes Benz or BMW series, it's a new model is coming up. So the engineers, they will design on a paper, I mean, how the output should be, everything, like interior, exterior, and they will put it on animation. They will put it on a movie, a documentary, they'll prepare that, and they will a small bit, a small clip or a small 5 minutes, you know, it describes how the car looks in interior, exterior, body, and everything, wheels, lamps, everything. Then client will look into that. When client satisfies, then client says yes, otherwise client will ask you to modify as per the client requirements only. I mean, we are not doing anything here. As per the client requirements, whatever the client says, you gather
Oh,
them, you design it. And if, when the client see, client want a real picture. When they see, oh, this is how it looks like, no, no, we don't want this one, we want some other, some additional thing. So what we are doing, according to client requirements only, we are designing this. But when you put it in a real way, then they will come to know, I mean, what exactly, what requirements they gave it to you, and what, how effectively the requirements are, and what changes they want. Correct? Yes, go ahead, you can ask your doubt. Yes, for me, you can ask your
so they
doubt.
can modify it to whatever taste they want. Now, what I'm saying is that so at that point at which the prototype is built during the requirement phase, they could modify it to whatever taste they want at that point.
Hmm. I mean, they
As
can
in
modify,
the end users,
they can
they keep
huh.
they can query the prototype and try to change their requirement to whatever taste they want until they are satisfied. Then they can give a go ahead to go on with the project,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in waterfall, if you see, there is no opportunity. Like once the requirements gathered and once the design development is started, there is no opportunity for a client, right? But here it's not like that. Even client can change at any time. That can be at design time or development time, or at any time client can change, because client want a finish, a tailor made. It is nothing but a tailor made. That's it. Got it? Tailor made, wherein waterfall is ready made. Waterfall is something like you order over the phone and that fellow will deliver. Then it's your wish, as per your order that fellow delivered it. So it's your wish, you have it or not, you throw it outside, it's your wish. But when it comes to prototype, it's not like that. You stay there, you stand beside the cook and see what this fellow is doing. You taste each and every recipe, you taste each and every intergent, like, yeah, this will suitable or not. No, not this, you change it again, you put something. No, no, I don't like this taste, come on, change it. So there can be many changes, until unless you are satisfied, you keep on changing the requirements. Okay, Femi, right? So this is how it goes. Let's see. Developers build a prototype during the requirements phase. Yes. Prototype is evaluated by end users. Users give corrective feedback. Uh, I think you're following me, right? Prototype is evaluated by end users means. End user will look into that. Hold a second, please. I'll be back. Hold a second. Yes, for me. I'm back. Uh, okay, fine. So here we are. Prototype is evaluated by end users. End users will look into the model, whatever it is. As I told you, right? That can be a pencil diagram, or that can be a real application, a sample model. So users give corrective feedback. Developers further refine the prototype. When the user is satisfied, the prototype code is brought up to the standards needed for final product. Okay. Structured evaluation is prototyping steps. So what are the steps? How to follow the steps and how to design? Let's see. A preliminary project plan is developed. An idea. An idea is generated first. Oh, this is how. By understanding the requirements, oh, this is how the application looks like. A contextual diagram. I mean, an idea is generated, okay, in your mind. Then a partial high-level paper model is created. Yes, you put that idea on a paper. As a that can be a blueprint, okay, or a wireframe. The model is sourced for partial requirement specification. Yes, this model will be the base for a design. A prototype is built with basic and critical attributes. Yes, now we are putting this model in a real way, in a real scenario, in a real world use. Okay. Now let's see. The designer builds the database. Of course, let's say we are designing an online uh, page, online application, the front page with username, password, and sign in button for an online banking application. So when user enters username, password, and click on sign in button, it should go and hit the database and some data should be displayed, right? So the connectivity to the database is needed. User interface, yes. What I told you as now, like the front end screen, what you see, the user name, password, or login, user interface, okay? Algorithmic functions, any functionalities, any calculations, any logic, okay? We have to write a program for that. We means we don't do anything. Programmers will do that. And we will show it in a real way. This is how your application looks like. Okay, then the designer demonstrates the prototype. The user evaluates for problems and suggests improvements. This loop continues until the user is satisfied. Until unless user is satisfied, it keep on. Loop means what? Repeating until unless the condition satisfies. Keep on changing, keep on changing. That's it.
Uh, does that mean that the prototype model will go through the prototype phase of the project will go through a, a bit of time because of the fact that it allows users to
Mm,
modify the requirement.
mm. So every project will have some start time and end time, of course. So within that time only we have to do. But here, when it comes to prototype model, it takes more time. Of course, the average time we can put like 1 year, 2 years, but sometimes we can design it less than 1 year, less than 12 months, or more than 12 months. What I mean to say is there is no fixed time here. I mean, an idea is generated like, okay, for this prototype we can put 1 year, then they will decide whether to extend it or whatever it is, because they are looking for an exact output, right? Until unless they get the right output, they keep on doing the things. So little earlier, I mean, it depends on the time. Suppose the time is very less, then they will little bit, they work more time and they implement more ideas very fast. So when something is going very quick, very fast, what happens, then developers and business analysts, even all the technical team and the client side team, both will be in a hurry burry situations, correct? Because we have less time and we have to design a prototype model, a new one. So keep on thinking, keep on thinking, keep on changing, very quick, very quick. Okay, sometimes when you do quick process, when quick and dirty methods may also lead a project failure. Maybe the quality may go, or maybe some mistakes may happen in the programming, correct? So that is the reason. Basically, all the prototype models, they go in a little lengthy processes. They take a lot of time. Slowly they will do it. Okay, because they want a right output end product. Okay, now let's see. Customers can see these are the strengths. Okay, prototyping strengths. Customers can see the system requirements as they are being gathered. Okay, but in waterfall there is no opportunity, right? There is no opportunity for client, they can't see, but here they can see. Developer learn from customers. Developers learn from customers means hands-on experience. Keep on changing, keep on writing coding, designing, blah 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 blah. So what happens? Hands-on experience on work, that is an advantage only for developers. Okay, they can learn more knowledge, they can gain more knowledge, but the disadvantage is the work pressure will be more. That's it. A more accurate end product, yes. As I told you, it's a tailor made. They will get a more accurate end product at the end of the day. Unexpected requirements accommodated, of course. Sometimes we may get new requirements, sometimes we may not get any requirements. Allows for flexible design and development. Flexible design. So what I mean to say flexible, like there is no time constraint, like requirement gathering 6 months we have to wait, or 3 months we have to finish, or 1 month. It's not like that. That may take 6 months, or that may take 10 days also. Got it? Flexible design and development. I mean, the programming that can may take 2 months or 3 months or 1 year also sometimes, because until unless the client is satisfied, you have to do it. But anyhow, I can't say that we cannot extend it for a long time. Some limited time will be there. Let's say 1 year. So we can make it 3 more months extra or 6 more months extra, the maximum. If the situation is very hard or the situation demands, we can make it little more like 3 to 4 months. It's not like 1 year project can be done by 10 years. I'm not saying like that. But whatever it is, there is an opportunity, there is a chance of doubling the number, there is a chance of doubling the time. Okay, doubling means 1 year, sometimes it may go for 2 years, sometimes it may go for 3 years, like that. Okay, very depends on the, it varies, it depends on the project. Now, study visible signs of progress produced, yes. Whatever the designs you design, we can view them. Interaction with the prototype simulates awareness of additional needed functionality, yes. With this model, the main strength here is, the main strength of this model is additional needed functionality. I mean, when you are talking, I mean, when you are doing all these activities, like when you design something and when you show it to client will get new ideas by looking into design. Am I right? See, client gave you 100 requirements. As per the requirements, you design something. And when you show this design to client, by looking into that, client will get new idea. Oh, why can't I apply something, a button here? Why can't I apply something here? By looking into a physical diagram, a real, uh, uh, a real diagram, when you see, you will get new ideas, correct? That is what additional needed functionality. Yes, Remy, what's your doubt? Any doubt, Remy? Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, 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 hello.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think I lost in the middle. I lost the connection. Okay, fine. Uh, Now, let's look into weaknesses. Weaknesses. Tendency to abandon structured program development for code and fix. Yes. So when you look into programmers, so they have to keep on changing the code. They have to fix it again. So it's a
Yes.
struggle. It's a stress. So bad reputation for quick and dirty methods. Yes. So you have to do it quick. When client says that you have to do it by the end of the day, you have to do it by in 1 hour. So when they are doing quick, what happens? There are many times it fails. So quick and dirty methods. Okay, because when you're doing very fast, what happens? Maybe the quality you may lose the quality. You may miss some requirements. You may have not done the you may miss the application requirement, something like that. So that may fail by the end of the day. So bad reputation. Overall maintainability may be overlooked, of course. See, it's a huge maintainability of working on one requirement again and again and again. The customer may want the prototype delivered. Process may continue forever. Scope creep. The customer may want the prototype delivered. Yes. Process may continue forever. Scope creep. Scope creep means Scope creep means what? Keep on changing, repeating. Okay. So suppose you missed something, again you have to go back and do it. Suppose you missed any requirement or you change something, again you have to go back and do it. This is what scope creep means. That's what continue forever. Reworking on the things again and again. Okay. This is all about weaknesses. And when to use structured evolutionary prototyping? Requirements are unstable or have to be clarified. Okay, requirements are unstable or have to be clarified. That means when client is not sure about the requirements, then you go with prototyping. As the requirements clarification stage of a waterfall model, can you hold a second? Someone is knocking the door. Yes. So when the requirements are unstable or have to be clarified, you have to follow this model. As the requirements clarification stage of waterfall model, yeah, I mean the same steps like analysis, design, development, we follow the same steps. uh, but only the thing is the work nature is different, correct? When you see the waterfall and prototype, the work nature is different. Develop user interfaces. Yes, we have to develop interfaces, graphical user interfaces, and show it to client. Short-lived demonstrations. Yes, for example, you design the login page, immediately you have to show it to client. So it's a short-lived demonstrations. New original development. Yes, this is for a new original project, a new project with the analysis and design portions of object-oriented development. I mean, creating a new objects. Okay, we use this prototyping model. So do you have
So
any
does that
doubts?
mean that
Pardon?
doesn't mean that they have to be because the process requires that the design the clients have a view of each phase of the project development. Um, then that means that they have to be setting up meetings with the clients periodically so as to allow them evaluate what they have been designed.
Hmm.
To get my point?
Yes.
Okay.
So wha- how to remember this? When you compare waterfall and prototype, when you compare waterfall and prototype, so you will easily remember all these things. Like in waterfall is something ready made, okay, and prototype is tailor made. Waterfall, there is no opportunity for a client, where in prototype, opportunity for a client, right? You can, when you compare,
Yeah.
then you can easily understand the things and
Remember.
remember the things very easily.
Yeah.
Okay, is it fine?
Yes,
That's
yes.
that's good. So the next one is, we'll do it tomorrow, fine, because I have a
Yeah.